Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now August 24th of 2020, and ever since the very end of the Skywalker saga, a lot of fans have been very curious about the future of the Star Wars franchise and where things are really going now that Kathleen Kennedy has little to no involvement on a creative scale, and it's all up to George Lucas, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, among other creators as well over at Lucasfilm, to really handle Star Wars in a more respectful manner. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the one thing about Disney Star Wars is that yes, we do know that they are in a phase of damage control and desperation to really get the ball rolling again when it comes to this franchise. Essentially, what they want to accomplish is that they really want to bring things up to the same exact level as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and of course, to bring Star Wars back to the way it was pre-Disney 2012. Before 2012, a lot of fans were, for the most part, kind of just enjoying what was done with the prequels and the originals at the time, and even the Clone Wars, and everything else that was really happening with Star Wars before Disney was really, fully fledged with the actual franchise. The thing about the future now is that we have over 10 years worth of Star Wars projects in the works for Disney Plus alone. That, of course, is not counting the new Star Wars films that are currently in the works, over at Disney and Lucasfilm, not just the new trilogy, but also a handful of spin-off films out there that's really going to take Star Wars in a different direction. However, when it all boils down to the sequel trilogy, we do know that these movies like The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker were a very big mess for the Star Wars fandom, and it really caused a lot of trouble among the Star Wars community. Now, with that being said, of course, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now finished with the Skywalker saga and The Rise of Skywalker, they are now focused on their new Star Wars trilogy of movies as well as their new universe in general. Now, it's explained that currently both Bob Iger and Bob Chapek are developing major plans in order to reunite the Star Wars fandom around the world in order to create a better and brighter future for the brand. Now, it's explained that Chapek plans to restart many aspects of the sequel trilogy in a huge way for many of the hardcore fans of the sequel trilogy to come back. Now, it's noted that Disney CEO Bob Chapek plans to release an alternate cut of The Last Jedi that will include some of the action scenes that were partially shot for Luke Skywalker that were eventually deleted by both Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy. Now, it's noted that Chapek wants to release a new cut of Episode 8 involving more of Luke Skywalker in action in the form of flashbacks in order to reset how Luke is used in the sequel trilogy movies. Not just that, but also Chapek plans to release an alternate ending of The Last Jedi that was never released, and that Disney is negotiating on making this ending of the film canon that will involve more insight into the death of Luke Skywalker and how it will be changed. So once again, they plan to change how Luke died at the very end of Episode 8. This is a death that was very controversial among many Star Wars fans out there. A lot of fans did not like two things: the way Luke died and the moment in which he died, the middle of the sequel trilogy, right? Did I actually think that the visuals of Luke's death were very beautiful? Absolutely. That's one thing that I will say about The Last Jedi that I actually do respect, is that it has great visuals. As far as the story goes, though, it's very poorly done, it's mismanaged, and it's not very well done by Rian Johnson. Now, Chapek is inspired to be, of course, doing this because of what happened with the Snyder Cut for Justice League, and wants to pursue something of that level with Star Wars. Now, with The Rise of Skywalker, Chapek plans to include a major scene in the movie that will entirely reset the story of Rey's parents and who they really are in the sequel trilogy movies. Now, Chapek plans for Lucas, Favreau, and Filoni to work on the Lucas/JJ cut of The Rise of Skywalker in order to make Rey's father, who was once the apprentice of Emperor Palpatine on the world of Exegol, before he went missing. So once again, you can see that Chapek, Lucas, Favreau, and Filoni, they're all trying to really reset the story of Rey and her parents and exactly how they're all connected to Palpatine. So, not just that, but Chapek plans to insert a scene into the Lucas cut of The Rise of Skywalker, which is aimed to be 4 hours long in length, that will include a sequence in which Luke Skywalker comes back to life temporarily to help save Ben Solo and Rey as they fight Emperor Palpatine in a scene where Luke uses the power of the wills to come back to life for a brief time before going back to the Netherworld in order for Disney to give Luke the limelight that he deserved at the very end of Episode 9. So, let's just think about this for a moment here and pause, right? When you think about the very ending of Episode 9, Luke really needed a lot more limelight than what he had in the overall movie, right? Really, at the end of the day, all we got of Luke was that moment of him on the world of Ahch-To and that little flashback scene. That was it, basically. Sure, we heard his voice on Exegol, and sure, we saw him on Tatooine next to Leia. But overall, once again, a lot of what was supposed to make up for what was done with The Last Jedi was deleted by Kathleen Kennedy. That, of course, involved more Force Ghost sequences, this magical segment in which he comes back to life temporarily by the use of the will's power, and flashbacks, Overall, Luke was going to be a big, big part of Episode 9, and he was deleted. So not just that, but chaypek plans to bring back many of John Williams' unused music for The Last Jedi and for The Rise of Skywalker to give the alternate cuts of the films a different feel and or tone once they release them sometime in late 2023 on Disney Plus for the fans to witness. Now, it's noted that Disney also plans to release an entire scene that will explain the backstory of Palpatine's survival and how he was able to transfer his essence into his clone body that will make it more of a known fact that Palpatine was a clone in the last films of the Skywalker saga, and that they plan to insert many of the Anakin Skywalker scenes that were shot for the film in the new cut of Episode 9. So once again, they plan to introduce more of the Anakin Skywalker scenes in Episode 9 with the JJ/Lucas cut. One thing that a lot of fans were very disappointed about was the fact that Anakin Skywalker was completely excluded from Episode 9. This was their last chance. Just think about this. This was their last chance to really unveil Anakin Skywalker, in his glory on the big screen, in an actual Skywalker saga film, and they missed that opportunity because of Kathleen Kennedy intervening, really deleting those scenes and changing everything just to focus more on characters like Finn, Poe, Rey, and Kylo Ren, where a lot of more fans were really looking at the title of the film, The Rise of Skywalker. Disney knew what they were doing. They knew that, obviously, the use of the name Skywalker was going to attract more fans into the theater seats. And, at the very end of the film, we pretty much came to our senses exactly what it meant. Now, a large chunk of the fan base already knew, pretty much it had something to do with Rey for the most part. Obviously, with Kathleen Kennedy, there's always a catch when it comes to these Star Wars films. Whether it's something amazing is always teased or bottled down to a minimum, right? Or if it's something to do with a title like this, it's more so to do with a new character as opposed to a character like Luke and or Anakin. So here's the thing about this scenario of them resetting or restarting many aspects of the sequel trilogy and really trying to make things right for the fans around the world is that, does it come off as desperate? Yes. Is it something that needs to be done? Not necessarily. Should it be done? Maybe. Because I think at this point it will satisfy at least a certain percentage of fans out there. That's a given fact. Is it really necessary though? In my point of view, I think it may be best to just leave things behind and just focus on the future, and that's it. But if they really want to do this, that's fine and okay and all. That's their own way of doing things. And after all, I think it will be entertaining to see deleted scenes of these movies and exactly how they were done. I just think that they should have just done this right from the get-go, and we wouldn't even be in this situation to begin with. That's just my point of view on things. And the last thing I do want to bring up that's very important is that when we go ahead and take a look at what Kathleen Kennedy has done, she's not going to be involved in any of this. She's only involved with the Leslie Headland Star Wars TV show. That's the only thing that she's going to be working on from this point on forward, and the rest is all up to other creators of the actual Star Wars franchise. So, looking forward to that different era of the Star Wars brand. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.